There's something almost unreal about the Philippines. Everyone talks about the beaches, the sunsets, the islands that look like screensavers, but nobody talks about what's hiding behind those postcards. Because deep inside this country, beyond the tourists, beyond the hotels and island parties, are secrets even most locals have never seen. Places that look impossible, lakes that change colors, caves that glow, waterfalls that fall into the sea. And here's the thing, these aren't fantasy. They're real. Right here, scattered across 7,641 islands, and somehow, the world barely knows they exist. Stay with me till the end, because the last one might just change the way you see the Philippines forever. Hinatuan Enchanted River, Surigao del Sur. They call it enchanted for a reason. Hidden deep in the jungles of Mindanao is a river so blue it looks like it's been dyed by magic. But it's not just the color that's strange, it's the depth. No diver, no scientist, not even sonar has ever measured the full depth of this river. It drops suddenly into a dark abyss, a mysterious underwater cave system that nobody's fully mapped. Local stories say it's guarded by fairies. Fishermen claim the fish vanish every noon and reappear later, untouched. Every day at midday, a bell rings, swimming stops, and the river suddenly goes silent, as if it's breathing. They say that's when the spirits come out to feed the fish. You don't have to believe it. But one look at those glowing blue waters, and you'll understand why people do. Mount Pinatubo Crater Lake, Zambales. In 1991, Mount Pinatubo exploded, one of the biggest volcanic eruptions of the century. Villages vanished. Ash rained for weeks. It was chaos. But from destruction came something otherworldly. Today, right inside that crater lies a turquoise lake. So still and perfect it reflects the sky like glass. Scientists say it's formed by rainwater mixing with volcanic minerals. But standing there, surrounded by towering gray cliffs, you can't help but feel the contrast. How something that once destroyed, now creates peace. Locals still whisper that the mountain never sleeps, that deep under the water, the fire still burns. And when the mist rolls over that blue surface at sunrise, you start to believe them. Sohoton Cove, Samar. You can only enter Sohoton Cove during low tide. Miss it, and you'll be trapped until the sea lets you go. Hidden on the island of Samar, this maze of emerald water, limestone cliffs, and secret caves feels like another planet. Boats glide through narrow passages that suddenly open into giant chambers. Inside, stalactites hang like teeth, and light filters through cracks in the rock like falling stars. But the strangest part? The jellyfish sanctuary. A hidden lagoon filled with golden jellyfish. That don't sting. It's so quiet there that every paddle, every whisper echoes across the water. It's not a place you visit, it's a place that lets you in. And once you're inside, you start to wonder, how many other hidden worlds are still waiting beyond the next tide? Biri Rock Formations, Northern Samar. At first, they look like cliffs. Then you realize, they're sculptures. Towering stone waves frozen in time, carved not by artists, but by centuries of wind and storms. The Biri Rock Formations rise from the sea like ancient guardians, each one with a different shape, each one telling a story written by the ocean itself. Locals say when typhoons strike you can hear the rocks sing, a deep, thunder-like sound that echoes across the coast. Scientists call it erosion. Fishermen call it warning. Whatever it is, standing there as the waves crash beneath you, you feel the raw heartbeat of the Pacific. The Puerto Princesa Underground River, Palawan. You've probably heard of it, but hearing about it and being there are two different things. Deep in Palawan lies one of the longest underground rivers in the world, stretching over 8 kilometers beneath limestone mountains. The moment your boat slips into the cave, the light disappears. Bats flutter overhead. The air grows cooler, and the water glows faintly from the guide's headlamp, revealing towering rock cathedrals that look man-made, but aren't. Every sound, the drip of water, the echo of your voice, feels amplified, alive. You lose all sense of direction. It's beautiful and unsettling. Locals say the river leads to a hidden chamber, one that no human has reached. Whether that's true or not, it's hard not to believe, especially when you realize you're floating through the veins of the earth itself. Tinuyan Falls, Surigao del Sur. It's called the Niagara Falls of the Philippines, but that title doesn't do it justice. Tinuyan Falls is 4 cascading tiers of pure power, surrounded by jungle mist and sunlight that forms perfect rainbows almost every morning. Here's what most people don't know. Behind the main falls, there's a hidden cave where you can stand behind the curtain of water. It's loud, it's freezing, but when you look out through that rushing sheet, it feels like time stops. They say couples who stand there together are bound for life. Maybe it's a myth, or maybe it's one of those things you just have to feel to understand. Kayangan Lake, Coron. Known as the cleanest lake in Asia, Kayangan feels unreal, like someone blended air and water until you couldn't tell them apart. You hike up steep steps, and suddenly the world opens. A panoramic view of limestone cliffs, emerald water, and silence so deep, it hums. Beneath the surface there's another world, hidden caves, sharp rock spires, and fresh water meeting salt water in perfect balance. Locals call it sacred, and honestly, it feels like it. They say the Tagbanua tribe has protected it for centuries, and maybe that's why it still looks untouched. Some places on Earth are meant to be visited, and others are meant to be respected. Mount Hamiguitan's Pygmy Forest, Davao Oriental. Imagine a forest straight out of a fantasy movie, but instead of giant trees, everything is miniature. Mount Hamiguitan is home to a pygmy forest, trees so small they look like bonsais growing naturally across mountain slopes. Scientists still don't fully understand how it formed. Theories say harsh soil and altitude stunted the tree's growth, but when you see it in person, it feels more like nature playing with scale, shrinking the world to remind us how small we are. And here's the twist. This forest holds species found nowhere else on Earth. Tiny orchids, rare birds, even plants that eat insects. It's a secret garden that only exists here, hidden in the mist. The Asik Falls, North Cotabato. No river, no visible source, just water, pouring straight out of a cliff covered in green moss. It's the only waterfall in the Philippines without a known river feeding it. Scientists later discovered the water seeps through underground springs, filtering through rock before bursting through the mountain wall. But when you stand there, watching sheets of crystal clear water fall from nowhere, science doesn't matter. It feels like the Earth just decided to show off. Mayan Volcano, Albay. You've seen volcanoes before, but none like this. Perfectly symmetrical, rising 8,000 feet into the clouds, Mayan looks like it was sculpted by hand, but behind that perfection lies danger. It's one of the most active volcanoes in the world. Its eruptions are fierce, but somehow breathtaking. At night, you can sometimes see a faint red glow at the summit, a quiet warning. Yet locals still live nearby, calling it Daragang Magayon, the beautiful lady. Because even when it's angry, it's still beautiful. The Philippines isn't just islands and beaches, it's a living, breathing storybook. Every cave whispers legends, every river hides secrets, every mountain tells a story older than history itself. These natural wonders, they aren't just tourist spots, they're proof that nature still holds mysteries humans can't fully explain. And maybe that's what makes them so powerful. Because for a few moments, standing in front of places like these, you realize you're not just exploring a country, you're exploring Earth's imagination. If this video made you see the Philippines differently, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me which one of these wonders is now on your bucket list. Because sometimes, the most beautiful places on Earth, don't need to be found. They're waiting for you to believe they exist.